Imagine standing at the threshold between two worlds, one where everything that once gave you meaning now feels hollow, and another, not yet tangible, but whispering your name. This is the moment before a quantum leap, the instant when the universe begins to rearrange the very fabric of reality around you. Can you feel it? Conversations that once sparked excitement now sound empty. Habits that once brought comfort feel meaningless. Even dreams that once burned bright in your heart have lost their sweetness. This is not stagnation. It's a clear sign that your internal system, your thoughts, emotions, and energy, is entering a phase of recalibration. In quantum mechanics, before a particle transitions to a new state, it enters what's called superposition, a state in which it exists in multiple possibilities at once, yet hasn't chosen a definite reality. You are in that state right now. You are the interference pattern between who you were and who you are becoming. The emptiness you feel isn't a meaningless void. It's a fertile darkness, the soil where the seeds of a new reality are being planted. The universe operates differently from what the human mind is taught. We are conditioned to believe that progress equals constant motion. Do more, move faster, never stop. But in quantum reality, stillness often signals that something profound is unfolding. Just as a seed needs time in darkness to germinate, you too are in a phase where your energy is restructuring to align with the frequency of the life you've been calling in. Notice this. When everything around you feels meaningless, it's not an ending, but the clearing for a beginning. When old ambitions lose their grip, it's because you've outgrown the vibration they represent. And when silence envelops you, do not fear. It is the sound of the universe reprogramming your reality. Before a quantum leap, life will challenge you to believe in what you cannot yet see, to love what you cannot yet touch, and to step into the void without a map. But if you can stand firm in this stillness, trusting it as preparation rather than conclusion, you will witness the miracle. The moment you collapse into a new reality, sudden, unannounced, and perfectly timed. Imagine yourself standing in an infinite expanse where everything seems to have stopped. No noise, no urgency, no pressure from the world outside. Only silence. But do not be deceived. This silence is not stagnation. It is the deepest recalibration you have ever known. In quantum physics, before a particle chooses a specific position or state, it exists in superposition, all possibilities overlapping, intertwining, waiting to collapse into reality. Apply that image to your life right now. You are not stuck. You are in a phase where countless future versions of you exist simultaneously. All possibilities, success, love, freedom, or whatever you desire, are orbiting around you, waiting for you to align with them. This silence is where that process is happening. When the outer world feels quiet, it's because your inner world is working harder than ever. Old thought patterns are dissolving. Limiting beliefs are being dismantled. The energetic contracts you once unconsciously signed with fear, scarcity, or repetitive patterns are being annulled. It's silent, but it's powerful, like the nucleus of an atom rearranging energy before bursting into light. We live in a society that worships busyness. We measure our worth by our output. Do more, run faster, achieve constantly. So when external movement stops, the mind panics. Am I doing something wrong? Why isn't anything happening? But in quantum mechanics, this stillness is a sign of pure potential. It's like the moment before dawn, when darkness is deepest, but seconds later, light explodes across the horizon. Picture this, a bowstring drawn taut by an archer. It's a moment of intense tension, yet no movement. No one looks at it and says, he's doing nothing. Everyone knows it's this quiet tension that generates the most powerful release. The universe is doing the same with you. It's pulling you back, not to hold you back, but to launch you into places you never dared to dream of. So, instead of fearing the silence, trust it. Instead of filling the space with meaningless motion, let it remain open. For in that openness, your new reality is being programmed. And when the moment comes, it won't arrive with fanfare or warning. It will come like every quantum leap, instantaneous, decisive, and irreversible. You may feel unprepared, but the truth is, you've been ready all along. This silence has only one purpose, to place you in perfect alignment with your highest potential. And when you hit choose, through trust, through presence, everything will fall into place and you'll see. Silence was never a pause. It was always the beginning. Imagine your soul as an ancient symphony played over and over for years. Each note, each rhythm represents patterns, beliefs, and energetic contracts you once signed. With yourself, with others, with reality itself. Some melodies once kept you alive, guided you through darkness. But now, they've become invisible chains, holding you in a familiar loop. And at this moment, your soul is quietly unthreading them. This is not a gentle process. When an old frequency begins to dissolve, it often vibrates one last time, loud, chaotic, like a string stretched to its limit before snapping. You may feel relentlessly tested, familiar patterns resurfacing, old fears re-emerging, relationships tightening with tension. This is not failure. It's the final unraveling of outdated structures. In quantum physics, when a system shifts energy states, it must release old energy before ascending to a higher level. An electron must absorb energy to jump to a higher orbit, and when it drops to a lower orbit, it emits light, a photon. Your soul is doing the same. As it leaves behind old attachments and low orbits of perception, it releases energy, perhaps as emotion, memory, or an unexplainable surge within. That is the light you are emitting. Those energetic contracts, the unconscious agreements like, I must suffer to be loved, or the world is harsh, I must always be on guard, are dissolving. You no longer agree to play by old rules, and as you withdraw that agreement, reality around you begins to shift. People, situations, and opportunities that no longer match will fall away. Space will open, not to abandon you, but to invite in the new frequency. See it as upgrading a system. When new software is installed, the old system must be removed. Corrupted files, obsolete data are deleted. If you interfere midway, clinging to what is familiar, you only slow down the upgrade. But if you trust and allow, the new system will run smoother than ever. Faster, stronger, more refined. Your soul is upgrading in the same way, dismantling outdated structures to make room for a higher frequency, the frequency of freedom, creativity, and infinite potential. And then one day you will realize the things that once terrified you, that once controlled you, have vanished. You will find yourself thinking differently, feeling differently, attracting entirely new people and opportunities. There will be no fireworks announcing it, no dramatic event, only an absolute clarity. You are no longer who you used to be. This is the silent miracle of liberation. When the soul releases old bindings, it doesn't just change you, it changes the frequency you emit, and in doing so it changes the universe you live within. Imagine yourself standing in the middle of an infinite expanse, no shape, no sound, no time. This is the void, the soul's nothingness phase. On the outside, life may seem stagnant, no interest in what once excited you, projects paused, relationships gone quiet. But inside, a reconstruction process is underway, an organization at the deepest level of being, preparing for an entirely new reality. In quantum physics, there is a phenomenon called vacuum fluctuation. Even in what appears to be total emptiness, virtual particles constantly appear and disappear, potential flickering between existence and non-existence. The soul's void is just like that. It is not dead emptiness but fertile emptiness, a womb of potential where all possibilities await formation. Here, your very essence is like a universe in its pre-Big Bang phase, everything contracting, gathering, preparing to explode into a new form. The old parts of you, thoughts, habits, ways of reacting to life, have been dismantled, but the new has yet to take shape. You are in the in-between, no longer who you were, not yet fully who you are becoming. The hardest part of this stage is the sense of disorientation. Humans fear the void. We are accustomed to doing something, to moving forward. When everything suddenly slows, when the universe seems silent, the ego rebels. Am I doing something wrong? Am I losing everything? But the truth is, you are in a stage of frequency calibration. Just as an instrument must be tuned before a great symphony, your soul is being tuned to harmonize with a new song, your new reality. Think of an electron in quantum mechanics. Before it jumps to a higher energy level, it exists in superposition, both here and not here, waiting for the precise moment to absorb energy. The void is the superposition of your life. You have not collapsed into a specific reality because all possibilities exist simultaneously. The universe is asking, which frequency will you choose? Who do you wish to become in this infinite cosmos? If you dare to embrace the void, to sit in the silence, you will begin to feel the first vibrations of the future, new ideas flashing like sparks, unexpected waves of peace washing over you, meaningful synchronicities emerging. These are signs the void is completing its work. Then one day, like dawn after a long night, a new wave of energy will pour in. You will feel everything flicker, come into focus. The path will open. The urge to act will return, but this time it will not stem from anxiety or fear, but from an inner pull, strong and undeniable. The void is not the end. It is the pause before a new symphony begins. And that symphony is you, your truest, most expanded self. Picture yourself standing on a suspension bridge between two worlds. Behind you, the familiar land of old habits and beliefs. Ahead of you, an unknown horizon. Your heart beats faster. One moment, you feel ecstatic, as if you could touch infinite possibilities. But seconds later, doubt creeps in. What if I'm going the wrong way? What if everything falls apart? This is the sign of emotional oscillation, a clear indicator that your inner system is transforming. In quantum physics, when a particle moves from a lower energy state to a higher one, it doesn't travel in a straight line. It leaps, a quantum leap. But before the leap, the particle vibrates, absorbing energy, sometimes shaking violently in preparation for the breakthrough. Your emotions are doing the same. The excitement isn't random, and the doubt isn't your enemy. They are two opposing poles stretching you, forcing you to choose. Cling to the old frequency or step into the new one. Each time you feel joy intertwined with anxiety, it is the moment when two timelines, two versions of your life, are overlapping. One keeps you in the old loop, safe but limited. The other invites you into an expanded reality, unexplored potential. Emotional oscillation is not failure. It is evidence that you are at the threshold of reality. Pay attention. Lately, things may feel strange. Unexpected opportunities arise, but along with them, challenges that provoke your deepest fears. This is how the universe tests your choice, not to punish you, but to ask, are you truly ready? This is when you must remember a key principle of quantum mechanics. Energy follows attention. When you focus on excitement, on the vision of the life you desire, you feed the new timeline, strengthening it. When you sink into doubt, you pull yourself back into the old frequency. And because you're at the intersection, both choices feel equally close, equally real. You do not need to eliminate fear. Let it exist, but don't let it lead. See it as a signal. You are approaching the threshold of a quantum leap. Just as a spacecraft rattles violently before breaking through the atmosphere, the turbulence is not failure, but proof of impending freedom. Then there will come a moment when you feel it. Doubt fades, excitement becomes pure momentum. That's when you've locked in to the new timeline. And when that happens, your reality will shift. Not because the outer world changed first, but because within you, you chose an entirely new universe to live in. Imagine you've been lifted onto a new frequency band, like a radio tuned to a higher station, but the world around you is still broadcasting on the old one. You start to sense a dissonance. Familiar conversations feel draining. Places that once comforted now feel constricting. Work that once held meaning now feels empty. This is not decline. This is frequency dissonance. The state when your inner being has upgraded, but outer reality hasn't caught up. In quantum physics, when two energy fields oscillate at different frequencies, they create interference patterns, points of conflict where waves collide. The friction you feel in life right now is that interference, two frequencies coexisting out of sync. It may manifest as restlessness, sudden conflicts, or an intense urge to leave behind what no longer fits. Do not mistake this friction as negative. In quantum mechanics, interference creates new wave patterns, shapes that have never existed before. In life, this dissonance acts as a catalyst. It pushes you to break from the old frequency, forcing you to decide, to choose a direction aligned with the new self emerging. If everything around you stayed comfortable, you would never have reason to move forward. Remember the moments you felt you no longer belonged somewhere. That was not failure, but proof you had outgrown the old framework. Like a snake shedding skin to grow, you are leaving behind a reality that can no longer contain who you are becoming. The beautiful twist is that when you hold the new frequency long enough, outer reality begins to reorganize to match. People, opportunities, and circumstances resonant with your energy will appear, while what is out of phase will naturally fall away. This is the principle of resonance. Two vibrations of the same frequency inevitably attract. But the stage before this, the stage of dissonance, is the ultimate test of faith and consistency. So what should you do when faced with this friction? First, recognize that it is natural. Do not try to force the outside world to change immediately. Instead, continue to hold the frequency within you. Focus on what nourishes the new energy, habits, environments, people who resonate, and allow the process of synchronization to unfold according to its own law. In quantum physics, when a system sustains a state of oscillation long enough, the entire surrounding field must eventually adapt. And then one day you will notice new conversations that go deeper, new places that fill you with vitality, new work that brings true fulfillment. At that moment, frequency dissonance will have completed its role. It did not destroy you. It propelled you to a higher version of yourself. Picture this. You've traversed every wave, endured the friction of frequency mismatch, and now you stand right at the threshold of a new reality. But just before the door opens fully, a familiar phenomenon emerges. Things you thought you'd left behind return. Old habits, relationships that once hurt you, outdated beliefs, all rise again like ghosts from the past. Do you wonder why? This is not regression. This is the universe's final test. In quantum mechanics, before a system transitions to a new stable state, it must pass through a phase of maximum oscillation, a final surge where old elements flare up before disappearing. Life operates under the same principle. When you upgrade your frequency, reality will present you with situations that force you to prove you have truly changed. Observe closely. If you were once trapped in self-doubt, you may now face a situation where someone triggers that feeling. If you once believed love required self-sacrifice, an old relationship might suddenly reappear, as if to ask, "Are you sure you've mastered this lesson?" This is no cosmic prank. It is an opportunity to act as the new you. In physics, when an electron jumps to a higher orbital, it never returns to the old one without losing energy. So it is with you. If you respond in the old way, you fall back to the old frequency. But if you decisively act from your new awareness, you lock yourself into the higher energy state. This is the crux. The choices you make in these moments of challenge are the defining imprints of the frequency you are broadcasting. This can feel exhausting. Why, after all my effort, must I still face this? Change your perspective. This is not punishment. It is initiation. Like a butterfly breaking free from its cocoon, like a rocket burning its last fuel to escape gravity. Without this final challenge, the new reality cannot be reinforced. Imagine yourself at a crossroads. One path leads back to the familiar, safe but narrow. The other opens onto a vast horizon, undefined but full of promise. This test asks only one thing. Will you choose the old or step into the new you have long desired? Remember, each choice now is no longer a small action. It is an energetic declaration. Each time you say no to an old pattern, you send a clear signal into the quantum field. This is me, the new version. When that signal becomes strong enough, reality can do nothing but reflect the vibration you have chosen. And when you pass this test, everything changes. The tug of war ends. the sense of instability dissolves. You enter a flow where things come naturally, aligned opportunities, resonant people, and a reality that mirrors precisely the frequency you emit. Now imagine you've weathered the storms of emotion, endured the friction of frequency dissonance, faced and transcended the final tests. You expect the moment of triumph to explode like fireworks, to arrive with blinding light and thunderous applause. But when the true transformation occurs, you realize there are no fireworks, no drum roll, no cheering crowd, only a profound stillness, like a windless lake. This is the nature of real transformation. In quantum mechanics, when a system reaches its new equilibrium, there is no fanfare. Oscillations gradually cancel out, and the system settles into a stable energy state. The process needs no display, because it has simply become. Humans are the same. When you have truly changed, you no longer need to prove anything, nor seek validation from the outside. You are the change. Look at yourself now. What once terrified you no longer touches you. Situations that used to trigger fierce reactions now pass like a breeze. Not because they've vanished completely, but because you no longer resonate with them. Your frequency has shifted, like a radio tuned to a new channel. The old signal still exists out there, but it no longer reaches you. This is a miraculous moment, yet so unexpectedly simple. You wake up one morning, brew a cup of coffee, watch the light pour through the window, and suddenly realize I'm different now. No bells, no announcements, just a deep knowing that you are living in a new timeline where what once was a dream is now ordinary, where you no longer try to maintain a high vibration because it has become your natural state. In science, this is called coherence, a system and its environment in complete harmony, requiring no effort to sustain. In life, it shows up as constant synchronicity. You think of someone and they text you. You need a solution, and the answer arrives right on time. This is not magic. It is the inevitable result of you and the universe operating on the same frequency. More importantly, you now understand that transformation is not a destination, but an ever-expanding process. Today you are here, tomorrow you may rise to an even higher frequency, and each time it will happen in the same way, quietly, naturally, like breath. This stillness is not dullness, it is the foundation of power. Because when you are no longer swept up in external noise, you are truly free to create. You become the effortless architect of reality. And that is when you realize true transformation is not the moment you achieve, it is the moment you become. Picture yourself stepping through an invisible doorway. Everything inside you has changed. You are no longer who you once were. Your frequency, the way you feel, think, respond, has risen to a new octave. And now comes the most important part. How do you sustain it? In quantum physics, there is a concept called coherence, quantum coherence. It is the state where particles, instead of vibrating chaotically, oscillate in unison, in phase, generating a powerful, stable field. Humans are no different. After transformation, you must enter the stage of integration, where the new frequency is no longer a fleeting moment, but your enduring essence. This requires a subtle shift. Instead of constantly seeking external proof to confirm, "Have I really changed?" you begin to live as though it is already true. You no longer wait for the universe to send you signs to believe. You are the sign. You act, choose, and decide from this new self, naturally, without the need to prove. Try to feel this. You walk into a room that once made you feel pressured, but now your energy is different. You're no longer pulled into old scenarios. You smile, respond calmly, and everything around you seems to adjust itself to you. This is the effect of coherence. When you maintain a stable frequency, the environment begins to synchronize with you, instead of the other way around. The fascinating thing about this stage is that it's neither loud nor dramatic. It requires steady presence, like a musician keeping perfect rhythm, or a laser maintaining the focus of photons. You don't try to hold it, you simply choose it, moment by moment. Each morning you wake up, you don't ask, "Will I still be in sync today?" You live from the starting point of, "I already am." And then the miracle happens. When you stop seeking evidence, evidence appears everywhere. The right opportunities find you. Aligned people enter your life. Situations that once felt challenging now become opportunities to expand. Your new frequency isn't just stable, it begins to radiate. In science, coherence is the foundation of extraordinary phenomena, from lasers cutting through steel to superconductors carrying current without loss. In life, inner coherence creates similar miracles. You operate more efficiently, expend less energy, and achieve greater results without strain. This is the ultimate goal of the journey. Not to change in order to prove something, but to fully live as your new self. At that point, you no longer ask, "When will I arrive?" Because you've become the destination. And from here, every possibility unfolds. Imagine yourself standing atop a high mountain. The rugged path behind you is now just a faint line on the horizon. You've walked through storms, endured long nights of uncertainty, moments when you doubted you could continue. And then, without fireworks, without grand celebration, you realize you're here in a new reality. What matters most now isn't how to get there, because you are already there. The task now is to anchor, expand, and trust in the very power you've just witnessed within yourself. In quantum mechanics, when a particle jumps to a new energy state, a quantum leap, it doesn't revert to its old frequency. It has stabilized at a higher level. Your journey is the same. You are no longer the old version of yourself, even if memories, habits, or familiar environments sometimes whisper to pull you back. But now the true power isn't in fighting the old, but in resting fully in the new. Feel this power. It's not loud, not boastful, but steady as gravity holding planets in orbit. It's the quiet strength that means you no longer have to declare, "I've changed," because every breath, every choice, every glance already proves it. What does anchoring mean? It means that each day you choose to live aligned with your new frequency, choosing calm over panic, trust over doubt, intuition over fear. It's knowing you don't need external validation to confirm you're on track. Because inside, you've become the perfect compass. What does expanding mean? It's allowing this new reality to permeate every area of your life. Work, relationships, health, joy. It's letting aligned opportunities come to you and welcoming them without hesitation. Like a nucleus emitting energy, you're radiating your new frequency into the world, and it resonates, attracting what matches. And finally, trust. Trust in the leap you've already made. Trust that the universe didn't bring you here just to abandon you. Trust that each next step will be illuminated the moment you're ready to take it. In science, a quantum leap is irreversible. In life, true transformation is the same. It can be questioned but never undone. So take a deep breath. Feel the quiet strength within you. You are no longer on your way to becoming. You are. And from here, everything can only blossom. Remember, you're not here to force your life into shape. You're here to align with the reality that already holds everything you've ever wanted, and then watch it unfold with a naturalness that feels almost effortless. That's the beauty of living in harmony with the quantum. I'll see you in the next video. Until then, stay coherent, stay present, and trust the quiet power of the leap you've already